Hello and welcome to the Mutual Fund. I am Vandita Shivle and you're watching our channel. Of course, without further delay, let's start with the first query that's coming from Rajan Shah from Kerala. He has emailed up his query that he's a first-time investor and he's asking, should he be investing in Kotak Pioneer Fund? Okay, very interesting question. Sure, Rajan, I'll answer. See, it's a good fund. I would not disagree. But for a first-time investor, it's a no. So the answer to your question, should I invest in Kotak Pioneer Fund only? No. First time investor, that's not the fund. Why? First I'll try to tell you what Kotak Pioneer Fund is about. It's a sectoral or thematic category fund, number one. Number two, it's a new fund. It has just started. I think if I'm not wrong, the NFO just came in the month of October and that period got over and now it's doing quite well. The theme of the fund is very interesting. They invest in companies, it's an out of the box fund. That's what they quote. Fund manager is Mr. Harish Krishnan. Interesting fund. They are investing in emerging technologies. They are investing in process innovators, product innovators. So basically what happens is that it's a very fast-paced environment, right? And in a fast-paced environment, there are a lot of trends that keeps changing, People and the companies, they're always looking for, new innovative methods, new technologies, which are like really good. They are challenging the existing market capabilities. So definitely they are targeting those companies and they invest in those Indian companies that are pioneer. These are the pioneer companies. These are the important companies that we are talking about who are investing in emerging technologies, who are investing in innovative technologies, innovative methods. So it's a beautiful fund. Interesting part is that this fund is also investing 35% in global champions, global leaders. And since they're investing in global companies, these are denominated in dollars. So you are diversifying your currency risk. So of course you get that kind of benefit. And they have a good mindset when they launch this one. But for a normal investor, who is just starting to invest, this is not the right fund to go for. Why? Because you should be looking for index funds. You should be looking for large cap fund as a first time investor. And try to diversify your risk because there is risk involved in sectoral fund. You need to stay for a very long time, number one thing. That's extremely important to get those kind of returns that the funds generate, right? So I would say not now. Wait and let the fund, perform at least for 6 months. That's ideally my way to look at things. I would say even for a good and a well-informed investor, one should always wait for the performance of the fund, at least for 6 months, Let's see how the fund is performing, how Mr. Krishnan is managing that fund. Let's look at his style. It's an interesting style, but let's look at it in a deeper way before we just start investing in a particular fund. So definitely you have quite good amount of benefits with when it comes to thinking, but you just can't invest in something because it's good, right? You need to look at your goals. You need to look at your asset allocation. You need to look at your time horizon. You need to look at your financial stand, right? And that's what mutual fund is all about. So just wait, be patient, and maybe after, you invest, start with large cap fund. Go for Mary Asset large cap fund for now because you have mentioned clearly you are not a risk taker. So when you're not a risk taker, this is not the fund for you, right? Okay, Rajan, all the very best with your investments and I really hope that you follow what I have told you. Do let me know what you thought about it. You can mail me as well. Okay, let's move on to our second part of discussion now. It's a very important discussion because here I'm going to tell you that what you shouldn't be doing as an investor. Axis Mutual Fund have come up with a very interesting study. I was just reading that article on LiveMint. And what they're saying is they've spoken about investor returns are lower than fund returns. They have spoken about fund versus investor return. That's the gap they're talking about. According to their study, in the equity funds category, The equity funds have generated, compounded annual growth rate of around 18.8% versus the investor returns. They have got only 12.5%. So 18.8% and 12.5%. That's a major difference. Okay, that's in the equity funds category. They've also spoken about the debt funds where the difference is little narrower. And they are saying that the CAGR of debt funds was around 7.8%. That's the return they have generated. But the investor returns are 7.4%. That's little better than equity funds. They've also spoken about hybrid funds where 13.2% is the hybrid fund returns, but 9.3% is the investor returns in the same category. Now, a lot of us will think that it's because of the expense ratio. No, because generally the returns are calculated after deducting the expense ratio. So that is not the real reason. And they have found, and this is for the period, between 2003 to 2019. The study was done between this period by Axis MF, and they have come to a conclusion that the real reason for this is the human behavior, is the investor pattern, is the investor behavior. Their entry and their exit is extremely volatile. They are just coming for a short term, they are just putting their money in a fund, then they are withdrawing it. They're not consistent. The SIPs are not regular. They're not disciplined. And because of this, they are not benefiting from the fund returns. So viewers, what is the lesson over here is, let's look at the time horizon very carefully. What we always focus is on returns. We forget that the time is important to get those returns. So please, my only advice to you right here, right now is, forget about everything. Look at the returns. That's important. That's a very, very important parameter. We cannot deny that. But your time, your money, how much you're allocating, your discipline investment is very important to get the real flavor of and the benefit of mutual fund. You are not using this tool in the right manner. If the time horizon is 5 years, you are not withdrawing before 5 years. That's what I'm trying to say. If the time horizon is 8 years, you're not withdrawing before that. Think before investing in a scheme. If you just want it for 3 years, park in debt funds. You don't want to waste your money, right? But be very sure in your mind, what is the purpose of your investment before you invest anywhere. So this is a very important study and is a very important lesson for 2019, why you should be investing in a fund and why time horizon is important. And that is because the returns are impacted, right? If you're on and off, if the markets are going down, you are, not putting in money, you are withdrawing money. That's wrong. You should understand the concept. When the markets are dipping, you should put in more money because you'll end up buying more units. Very, very important factors. We are missing beautiful facts. And you need to benefit from power of compounding. That will only happen when you let your money grow in a mutual fund instrument, in a scheme, right? And this we have seen, they have done the study for SIP versus lump sum as well for all the categories. And they've just seen, and what they've found is that the investor pattern is not proper. You are not looking at the right time horizon and just investing. For example, in the previous query, I was talking about Kotak Pioneer Fund. Even it's a sectoral fund. If you're just saying that the fund is good, but you're taking out your money after 1 year, these are emerging technologies they put their money in, right? You need to wait for the sector to grow. I know they're putting in diversified sectors, but that doesn't mean you will just forget that law that you need to invest for a longer time in a thematic category, right? So that's very important. With that note, on that note, I would like to end this discussion, and I really hope that you look at the time horizon as well and then invest. Obviously, look at the returns, but don't forget the time. Alright? All the very best with your investments. Thank you for watching me. Do not forget to subscribe my channel, and yes, press the bell icon right now because I don't want you to miss any update related to mutual fund, right? All the very best with your investments. Bye-bye.